Hello, Aviation Human Factors. My name is Justin Lyon. Um, I am from Washington State, but recently moved to North Dakota. Um, I am the youngest of three boys. There's 10 years between me and my oldest brother. I'm pursuing a degree in professional aviation, and my current job is I'm a flight instructor, which is why I moved to North Dakota so I could time build and go to the airlines. I'm in an apprenticeship, or it's called the Pilot Development Program for Alaska Airlines. So once I hit my restricted ATP minimums of 1,250 hours, I've already done my application and interview with them and have a job lined up to start flying the Embraer 175 next year. After this course, I have 14 classes left to finish my degree, and as most of you know, most of the airlines have dropped their bachelor's degree requirement, but I'm still pursuing it. In part because it keeps my loans on deferment until I can get to the airlines and start paying on them. Sallie Mae's interest rates are not nice. Reflect on God's calling. I grew up racing motorcycles, and for most of my childhood and like K through 12 school years, my goal was to go pro racing dirt bikes, and I had a long list of broken bones, but my senior year in high school, I had a bad crash at one of the races, and the guy behind me, or a couple of them, ran me over, and I broke my neck in two places. Thankfully, I didn't have to have any surgery or anything like that. It all just kind of grew back naturally. I didn't have to wear one of those C collars or anything. But that was just kind of when I threw in the towel, just realizing how lucky I was to be here at all or not in a wheelchair. And then I framed houses for 4 or 5 years, and it wasn't until a friend of mine that I actually also raced with, who broke his back and healed from that, got talked into quitting his job at the motorcycle shop and starting a Part 141 2-year commercial pilot program back in Washington. And he called me after he got his private license and was like, "Hey, you don't want to frame houses anymore. You want to fly airplanes." And I was like, "Okay." And it's funny looking back, because while I was attending the program, I would watch kids come in with their parents and do like a whole walkthrough tour of the college and all this stuff. And it was about an hour and a half drive from my hometown. I was familiar with the town, but looking back, I didn't even go for a tour or anything. Like, once my friend called me and kind of put the bug in my ear, I like went online, filled out my application, emailed it to them, and they were like, "Hey, you're approved." And I was like, "Oh, all right, well, guess I'll register for classes." And I really had no idea what I was getting myself into, but just knowing my lifestyle, and I've always been into dirt bikes and snowmobiles and jet skiing and hiking and all of that stuff, so why would flying airplanes not sound awesome? I didn't realize how difficult it was going to be, but I made it through that, and I just kind of realized that God was kind of using my friend in that phone call to give me guidance in life. Because once I wasn't racing anymore, that if you know anybody that's really big into playing football or basketball, they kind of find their identity in that sport, and that's what their life revolves around. And that's how racing dirt bikes was for me. And I was about a year away from turning professional when I broke my neck, so that was a really big pill to swallow, especially since I was healed, still healthy, still could get on my bike, still could go ride. It was as if nothing happened, but I just had to remind myself, like, I had a really lucky and close call. And I didn't know what direction my life was going to go until I got that call, and what I was going to do with the rest of my life for a career. So I think that call kind of saved my life, and in a lot of ways. And so here I am as a flight instructor. I got here in February with 350 hours, and in the last 6 months I've more than doubled that. I think I'm getting close to 800. What I hope to learn from this course is its human factors. So I want to build on the knowledge that I already have of pilot errors and fatigue and the human factors that go into a lot of aviation accidents, since a majority of the time the NTSB will rule that it was pilot error. So I want to build my knowledge and help myself kind of have more background information and know how I can avoid those, learning from other people's past mistakes, and be able to remove some of those human factors from the cockpit throughout my flying career. So that's what I know. I'll see you guys next week.